Hey, this is Shiraz, and before we get started, I just want to let you know that when I clear something for someone, when I cause a shift, I tend to yawn and cough from the energetic shift that happens. I don't know why it happens. It's just how my body works. And if you don't know that, you're going to listen to this video and go, what the hell is wrong with this guy? You might still think that, but now there's more of an explanation. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you hear something that you can absolutely relate to, when I cleared for them, you can get it cleared for you too. Just say yes when they're saying yes, and it works. I have people that watch these videos every morning to get stuff cleared. This can be your new morning habit too. Okay, that's enough for that. Let's get on with the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get a great shift out of it. See you soon.
So we're working on my business for sure. And first of all, thank you, because that little reframe you did for me, they're just doing their thing or running their patterns has made my life so much easier. So I really appreciate that. It's been hard, I have to say, but I've made some great progress. So thank you for that to start. My question is, so we know that I'm kind of like an overachiever and I always try to do too much. And part of me is kind of saying I should take it easier. And then I have this, so, this is kind of the year of Julie where I'm growing my business, but I don't have an assistant. So I have to do everything that I can't delegate. Like I delegate my bookkeeping, but I have to do the trades and stuff myself. So, on the weekend, I got some double screens. I'm trying to make it easier or whatever. And I'm getting that now. I'm getting much more comfortable. So that's great. But one of the things I want to do is grow personally. So I'm doing obviously your program, which has been phenomenal. And I also signed up for Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within to focus on changing my state and my focus and stuff, which has been great. But so and they have a bunch of programs that go throughout the year. So one of the opportunities I have in one of my studies group is I did this program called Circle Wealth in the US many years ago. And then we kind of drifted away from it. I paid for the program last year. I haven't really used it. Ironically, synchronicity, last Friday, one of my colleagues showed all the changes to the program. And he said, they're redoing the alumni program. You can join at less than half the price and you can redo it. And part of me saying like, I'm 99% sure I'm going to do it. But the other part of me is just kind of screaming in the background because I'm like, it's a great opportunity. If you have your state in and you get more organized, you should be able to do this. It'll be a little extra work, but you kind of know deep down it's going to help you overall with your business. But then the other part of me is kind of saying like, you jump into too many things. You wanted to enjoy your summer and take off more time. So I'm struggling a little bit to figure out like, am I trying to do too much or is this really, a great opportunity? It's the last time not the guru, but the guy who created kind of this program, the thought process, he's going to be doing it, and then they're going to delegate it just to other people. So.
Okay. Do you have to always be busy to be productive?
Interesting. I'm hearing absolutely
there's a bunch of people on the call right now that just went into huge reaction over that.
Yeah, I definitely not, because like I can spend time kayaking and paddleboarding and working out. Like those are things that are non-negotiables for me. But on the other hand, for work, yeah, I do kind of feel like I have to keep busy and doing something, right? Like to grow and it's funny, I had a conversation with another guy, and because my husband says, why do you feel like you have to grow your business? And I'm like, because I'm at the point where I can offer so much right now. Like I absolutely know how to change people's lives. So that's what's kind of motivating me. And frankly, I could keep doing this business for 10 or 20 years and just kind of claw back and, get more support staff or whatever. So I eventually, when my admin comes back, I won't have to do any of the admin stuff. So that's in 11 months. So.
Okay. So does growing your business mean you have to do more work?
it did in the past. I always had, I realized that I have a thing of things have to be hard. So I'm getting rid of that, and I'm
Mhm.
starting to surf and go with the flow. But yeah, it
There's
used
still a
to,
reaction there. Yeah.
yeah,
But are you willing to step out of the story that in order to grow your business, you have to do more work?
yes, definitely.
Yeah, not really. There's not a lot of energy shifting
I
there.
want it. I
Okay,
do want it.
I know.
My friend gets these opportunities all the time where these $2 million accounts just get handed to him, and he does it like easy. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take some of that. Yeah, that's great. I'll have some of that too. Thank you. So,
It sounds wonderful, but when that happens and you hear about that, how do you feel?
well, initially I was kind of like a little, wow, that's not fair. Like, how come keeps getting all these easy breaks, right? But
Okay.
now I'm kind of like, after your last call that you had, I'm like, no, that's awesome. I'll take some of that too, right? So,
Okay. And so it feels like you've gotten to a space where you feel okay, that it's not that it's not fair, it's just what he's creating. But
mhm.
there's still part of you that's like, I don't want people to look at me and think that's not fair.
Mm.
So it feels like
Yeah,
you've partially
integrity
got it.
is
I'm
my
willing
number
to
one
accept it.
thing. So you
Yeah.
might be onto something there, because it's always about, yeah, being fair and
Yeah.
integrity. So,
So if you're worried about how other people are going to see you, if your life gets really easy and really big, you're not going to let your life do that.
mhm.
So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to make sure no one looks at you and your life and thinks that's not fair?
Yes.
Yep. And there's going to be people like, come on, how come that always happens to you? Why does Julie always get it? Oh, and you have to let them be there because that's just the space they're in so that they can stay small, they can stay comfortable, they can stay where they are. They need to attack you in some way. Even if they don't voice it, you'll feel the energy,
Well, and
right?
it's true, because I remember when I was a brownie, and because I was such an achiever, right? That's how I got affection or whatever. I got all these badges and everything, and then somebody said, "Oh yeah, you always get everything. Like, it's so easy for you." And then I made myself smaller, and I stopped like getting so many badges and stuff, because I was like, people were like sending daggers in my direction, right? So,
Yeah. But notice at that age, you decided, I can't let things be easy for me all the time. You
mhm.
made the decision then so that you could feel you could interact with people, and it's affecting your entire life. So, how old were you at that time?
That was in brownies, so that was probably 8 or 10. But
Okay.
my life was, as you know, my childhood was challenging. So I think I just got used to that kind of environment, that things are a struggle, right? And I'm like, no, they don't have to be that way, right? So,
Okay. So, are you willing to stop being eight when it comes to worrying about what people think of you? Ooh,
oh,
feel that one. Oh my gosh.
ooh, yes, yes, I definitely am willing to stop being 8.
That's it. Don't ever diminish yourself to make other people comfortable. It doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve them.
Yeah,
And there's always people out there that, while there are some feeling uncomfortable because of your light, they're like, oh my God, Julie, you are the inspiration in my life. And if you dim that life, you are less of an inspiration to every one of those people.
true. So true. I still have a bit of tension like up here. I don't know why that would be, but
Okay. Is being successful a big responsibility?
less responsibility than being unsuccessful, that's for sure.
But sometimes what happens is you become successful and now you've got to take on the mantle. I've got to continue being, I got to keep showing that I'm successful. I've got to, I have to be an inspiration rather than I get to be an inspiration. There's all this responsibility people put on themselves, the more successful they become.
No, I've kind of shifted it that, I've been given these gifts now and, I mean, that's really how I approach it. Like I can make such a difference. It's about the money, but it's not even just about the money. It's about, now I can really make a difference. So who am I to just shut that off? There's a lot of people who can really benefit from that, right? So
okay. Is it your responsibility to make that difference?
I would say yes. I think we all have a responsibility to use the gifts that we have.
Okay. That's the problem. Okay. There's no choice in responsibility. There is a heavy burden in responsibility. So you are not responsible for helping all these people. It is not your responsibility to use your gifts. It is your choice if you want to use those gifts. And choice always feels lighter than responsibility. Right? We get taught as, I grew up with Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. No, that's just a lot of responsibility. That feels like, right? And reading those comics, I would see his life was not a good life. Every time he thought everything is about to flow, something came up because, of course, the drama pulls you into the story. But that's just what happens when you're in stories of responsibility. Now, I'm not responsible for anyone I work with. When I'm with you, I give the biggest contribution I can in that moment. But then I don't go on saying, okay, now I'm responsible for Julie and everything happens in her life, because that's too much. No. Right. So
that's brilliant. Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. I always feel responsible for all my clients, all my family. So yeah, you're right. It's a choice.
Stop it. Yeah. When I do the business workshop in 2 weeks, that's one of the things I'm going to talk about is responsibility. But we're here now. So are you willing to step out of the story that it is your responsibility to share your gifts?
Yes, totally.
See the dog celebrating?
Yeah, she feels the release also.
Yeah.
And the FedEx guy helped too. So sorry.
Okay. All right. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling much lighter. So cool. Do you have any perception on my conundrum? Do I do this course or not? Or if I want it as a choice?
So if you're being pulled to do the course, then do the course. If you feel like I have to do it before it goes away and it's coming from lack, it's coming from scarcity, then don't do the course, because it's always going to be a better opportunity. Right. The course, I'm in a speaking course right now, and I just signed up for it. And this guy had been presenting the course over and over again for the past few months. And it was just so funny, because he's just like, the usual pitch. It's like, you get this and you get this and you get this. It's $114,000 worth of value. And he said, and my coach said, sell it for $40,000. And even at $40,000, I'm like, that's based on everything he's just said. That seems reasonable. He says, well, you know what? I'm going to do it for $25,000. Right. And he said this over and over again through different workshops. And I kept thinking, do it. No, because part of me said, it's not the right time. That moment will come. At this workshop that I just went to, he came in and he did his thing. But what happened is the people that organized the workshop, they presented this thing called Play 100, where they get you to speak on 100 stages over the next year. Because if as a coach, as a healer, as a lot of things, you want to be out there getting your message out and presenting. So that was a $10,000 package. Right. And so I'm like, ooh, that sounds interesting, because I want to be on 100 stages. And then they said, we're going to take these two programs, we're going to put it together. So I'm like, 10,000, 25,000, 35,000. They'll probably bundle it for 30,000. They bundled it for 20,000.
Wow.
So I'm like, here's my card. That's it. We're done. Great. So,
awesome.
Right. But it was just that before, like I could feel it's not quite right, it's not quite right. But at that moment, I'm like, that was the missing piece that was creating the hesitation. It wasn't that it was too much money. It wasn't that it was the wrong person. It was just like I could feel there was that missing piece. And as soon as it got filled in, boom, done.
It's funny you say that because for me, it was kind of my colleague said, oh, yeah, if we redo it, we get this price. And when I reached out to her on Friday, she gave me a different price. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to ask, like, what's the harm, right? So I emailed her back and said, well, I kind of missed part of it. And I'm wondering if, and she said, oh, I'll send you the part you missed and you can look at it and get your feet wet and see if you want to do it. And I said, oh, and by the way, you know what? Yeah, I don't understand. Like he told me he's paying this. She goes, oh, that's for people who went to the workshop. But he said, I said, because I'm in Canada, right? Everything's in US dollars. She's like, oh, but if you want to do it, I will get the approval that you could do it at that rate, but don't tell anyone. So anyway, you didn't hear that. You don't know what program it is. So
you didn't hear it. We'll cut it off the audio.
So I was like, yeah, that's kind of like another sign, right? So it's, okay, perfect.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Shiraz. I appreciate it. Big hugs to you on Valentine's Day. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like. And if you had a shift of your own, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Also, check out the description for energetic magic events that you can attend every single month. Be well, be aware, and be magical.